Hello everyone, so in this video we will talk about the Walksnail Goggles X and we will try to look into the internal temperature of this device using a thermal camera. So without further ado, let's dive into this video. We will try to run this. Nasaan ka na? Oh, come here if you want to be in the video. Okay, so we would like to thank John Burks for helping out in this video. The coffee is served very well. So if you do like to give some coffee, if you think this video helped you in some ways, do click on the description to the link. Okay, for the buy me a coffee. So John Burks, thank you for the help. And okay, so we will turn on the Walksnail Goggles X. The thermals of the Walksnail Goggles X, and this came from a cold boot, so you will not be able to see most of the temperature yet. The pathway from the fan is starting to heat up until ultimately the top part of the right vent expels the hottest part of the VRX. So it's around 41.9 degrees Celsius. So this is just turned on. So we haven't done anything yet with the goggles. So the bottom part is quite warm, 33, and as expected, some parts in the right side where the micro SD card is in, the temperature is starting to increase and it's around 38.5 because there's no fan on this part of the Goggles X. Okay, let's look at the front. Okay, I put some goggles protector here, and yeah, as expected, the vent here on the right side is a bit warm, and the coldest part is the left part wherein there is some vents from the fan. Okay, so we'll try to just let this run for probably 10 to 15 minutes. Let's look at the temperature after this. Okay, so we have been running the Walksnail Goggles X for almost 15 minutes now. So we want to see how the temperature is. As you can see here, really still the temperature increased to 63 degrees for this part. Now as we look into the front part, the cold air is being pushed to this part. So if this is I was hoping that they could improve the design of the Goggles X by just adding a very small fan at this part so that this whole cavity will not be too hot, especially for long periods of time. If you look at the bottom part of the goggles, see, that is the warm part of the Goggles X. This is this part. It's a bit warm, especially the vent, of course. The bottom vent is a bit, it's not as high as the top part. It's only 45. And the SD card slot is a bit hot. It's 56 degrees. So I was hoping that really the Walksnail can redesign this and make it a better Goggles X. It's really going to starting to warm up on that vent because it is the one closest to this power supply. The heat that is coming here is from the power supply. Let me remove this first so you could see it more clearly. Okay, so this the lens I think is in a good temperature, just 37, so nothing to worry about. I think what we did in putting some path for the air helps a bit to improve the thermals here. Basically, that's how it looks like under the thermal camera. And if you will not do any modification on the Goggles X, this putting something here that could be something like this, I put a pad here. This doesn't get too hot around 43 degrees, so it's not too hot. This could help you to hold the goggles where you have to remove it instead of touching this very warm part. It's around 60, not that much. I think we're gonna do anything else. Some will do suggest to modify the top part. I think if Walksnail can produce a first party fan that is included with a VRX, I think that would be a good option. But for me, I will not do any. I will not modify this already because, of course, um, I think the temperature is still in a good range. Even if we modify this, the top part, we will not. We lower down a bit the temperature, but the risk of soldering a the fan on the board is not my cup of tea, so I don't want to risk damaging the Walksnail Goggles X. So basically, that's the Walksnail Goggles X under the thermal camera. So if you think the temperature is not on the safe side, probably you could try to look into some of the modification done by the community wherein they put some fan here. Some do put one fan, a very big, I think 3080 fan, but I saw another video wherein someone put two fans. So it's up to you if you would do that. But for me, the risk of damaging the Walksnail Goggles X is not worth doing that modification just to lower down the temperature, because as we look into the thermal camera, the internals is still in a good working temperature. I think less than 50, less than 40 degrees inside of the goggles, in front and at the back. So I think we're still in a good temperature for that. So modifying and just putting one fan here could probably lower down that internal temperature to probably around 30. But the risk of putting a wire directly on a very small capacitor inside of the VRX or even directly to the board of the power supply is, I think, not worth it. So I just hope that Walksnail can improve the design on probably if they would produce another version of this, or if they would sell a new VRX. I think they could they could include a very small fan, probably put it here just to modify the airflow inside, and we could and redirect this very powerful fan to enclose the very warm parts inside of the Walksnail Goggles X, instead of just pushing that very strong wind just to lower down the temperature of one chip here. It could have make a big difference because it's really hot. It's around 60 degrees here, so it's if you put it on your face, when you try to hold the Goggles X or try to remove it, this is a warm part. So I think this, if you put something here, this could really help you to hold this while you are using it, so that it could improve your temp. It would not burn your hand, because of course this is padded. It has a lower temperature than the rest of the parts of the Walksnail Goggles X. So I hope this video helped you to see the working temperature of the Walksnail Goggles X, as we also did some modification inside to help to push that very cold air going to some of the parts of the Walksnail Goggles X. And I think it's up to you if you would really do a very, very hard modification wherein you put another fan on your Walksnail Goggles X. And if you would ask me, I do not suggest doing so at the moment, because I think the working temperature is still in a good working range. So we will end the video here. Hope to see you in the next one. Happy flying. Take care. So we would like to